Hello, and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Oh, me tripped over you, mate. Crikey. It's another day. It's spring. Got a hole in our roof. And it's foggy. Every day seems to be foggy. Every day I get up, it's foggy now. So the devs clearly introduced something into this game, because this is just plain weird. I mean, it'll burn off later on in the day, but anyway. Looks like we need to repair things now, and I've got to go off and pay the bills. It seems. Go over to, ooh, wow, 2778. Ouchie. Yeah, that's a lot more than we've got. Fortunately, we've got quite a bit of flax in there anyway. We've now got two farmers, so they can hopefully they can finish off the fields. I mean, one thing I've noticed is I can't get two farmers working on the same field because, for instance, this particular one here, only one of the two, so Edmund and our other half Damric over there, they won't both work on this field, only one of them will, which is interesting. But at the minute, I think I split it off because we were in the winter time, and I think it was a case there just wasn't really enough to do in the fields anyway. So I actually set it up so that I think Damrica's yeah, Damrica's actually working in the field, whereas Edmund's working in the barn. So he's been converting over the manure, for example, to fertilizer. There's no oats, no rye, or anything like that. But I think what I'll do is I'll actually get him to actually to help out now. So we'll grab him. So he's going into a mining extraction. And now that I've moved him out of the barn, I can move him back in again. It's kind of an odd thing, I must admit. I can't just like assign him over and switch his job and say, well, actually, you're no longer a barn worker, you're a farmer. It doesn't quite work like that. But anyway, I can say I've got quite a... Actually, I don't have that many repairs to do, actually. So there's the barn needs fixing. Our house, yeah, of all the houses, our house is the only one that needs fixing. And it says there's two issues, which has got me puzzled. As you can see, there's only one barn, but it's referencing two problems, so yeah, that's a bit weird. So you can see that one says there's one thing to point out, and that's that it's our house. If we go into farming, it says there's two things to point out, but there's only one barn. So that's a bit confusing. Unless it's trying to flag up this issue as well. Who knows. Anyway, those two can now just focus on the actual fields. What we're going to have to... Put that away. What we're going to have to do really is, well, one, we need to go and get these buildings fixed. Then the plan is, well... Although I've been upgrading these houses here, I'm going to take a bit of a break from that because it's taken me 2 seasons to probably get through about just half of them. So I think what we're going to do today is, well, these main quests. So Alwins is not too bad. I mean, we've got to go and beat him at archery. It says we've got 12 years left to do, but I want to try and get that done as soon as I can. Then there's also Uniegosts quest, which is to basically go and see Sambor and find out if we can a bit more about this Kestrel. We've learned quite a bit about her from Uniegosts, but he's told us to go and see Sambor now. So yeah, we've now got a hole in our roof to fix. Wow, crikey. I had to sell off quite a lot of flax to be able to afford the bill to Uniegost. But that's all now sorted out. I mean, I sold a load of like hammers, arrows as well, just to cover the bill. So I can see me needing a much bigger field to be able to get more flax. Anywho, I need to find Alwin because he was over here a minute ago. There he is. So for him, we're up to the point where it was an archery competition as far as I remember. Okay, so... Okay, fair enough. Well, you go that way. Who cares? I'll go this way. So basically what we've got to do is We helped them build an archery target not too long ago. And he wants us to get a score of 20 or better. I must admit, it can be a bit... There is a bit of a knack to it, but it gets a bit harder the next time round. Especially when you're wagering your money. So, I don't know if I can still do that, because last time I did this, I was using a longbow. So let's see, we've got copper arrows, I think. 19, so I've got some copper arrows. So, I've got to hit that archery target. Now, he was saying to try to hit it from a certain distance, but I go further out. The further out you go, the less accurate you'll get, but you'll get more points if you do actually hit it. Now, as far as I recall, you don't actually lose anything if you miss. It only counts if you do actually hit it. So, okay, right, so let's see if I can hit it from here. Maybe just there, maybe? No. Let's see where that arrow is going, whether I'm falling short or going beyond. Because I was aiming for just below the tree line. And I have no idea where my arrows have gone. Where the heck have they gone? Now that's bizarre, my arrows have just completely disappeared. I must admit, I normally do it with stone arrows, so well, I sold them up as well. Foobar, right. I'll have to go back again. But yeah, there is a certain actor. I remember trying to hit roughly the target. It was the tree line roughly from around about here, but maybe it's just because I've got a different bow and different arrows. So I'll aim for just above. Try a different strategy. Because the trouble is, I mean, the actual bow is wobbling around for one thing. So that fell short. So you can see I'm not getting penalised for missing. But I will get, if I don't hit the target, it doesn't really matter. Once I hit the target, then it depends on, you know, how accurate you were. So if we aim just roughly above the fence, maybe. How did we do there then? So that was just above the fence, whereas before I was slightly below. So it was slightly there. So I've got to so obviously I've got to go pretty much where I was aiming before, which is just above the tree line, below the tree line, I think. Now, I think it tells you exactly how far away you are. So I'll go a bit slightly higher up then, just below where the tree comes down. I mean, I've got enough arrows anyway. Or have I, at this rate? If I can't hit the target at all, it's no use anyway. Accuracy, so we got a score of 5. Let's try a bit higher then. So there you go. So we're at a distance of almost 60 meters. So I'm just beyond these, well, almost lining up with that tree there. So that's not too bad. But I find that seems to be the better strategy, is to, the further away you are, yeah, your accuracy is going to suck. Well, that was it. That's almost dead center, that one. But the further away you are, the more you'll score. And I've lost quite a few copper arrows. Still haven't found those two, wherever they went to. I mean, they do have a certain durability on them. I think that's only when they hit something. I'll have a bit of a rummage around. I think he's just stuck somewhere. We'll find out what he thinks. He's probably not overly impressed, to be honest, because it's a case of we'll beat him. I really need to stop running. This is not helping. Right, so he's back over there. Because I was expecting him to follow us out. Maybe it's because I didn't follow him. I don't know. Normally he's standing around there all the time, but anyway. Well, I wasn't really all that accurate, but yeah, let's not go there. Oh, okay, you want an actual tournament next time. Okay. Well, that's not bad. We actually gained some dynasty reputation from it. So we got 39. I think that's not. I think that's pretty much what you'd want for every hit. You'd want to hit it because I can't remember. I think it might be 60 or something points you've got to score to be able to beat him on the next test. Now, the next thing I want to do then is I want to pick up with Uniegosts. I want to find out more about Kestrel. So she's Sambor rather is up here in his hut. So we need to go and speak to him to find out where Kestrel is. I'll just be careful because I remember there was some bandits over there last time I was there. I've no idea why Sambo's standing out here. But we're going to ask him more about Kestrel here. Oh, okay. But I want to know where she is. Yeah? Yeah, well, of course it's urgent. Oh, no. What do you want doing then? Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what kind of items? Just for those. Oh man, that sucks. I've got a long way to travel to do all this. Yeah, woof woof. Well, I don't have any beetroots because I'm not growing any. I think everybody's eaten the cabbages. Let's have a look. So we can go into the storage. We can find out what we've got in storage. Now, as I said, the last time I checked, I think everybody like ate all of the cabbages over the winter, so that's gone out the window. So I'm going to have to buy the beets. I'm going to have to buy the cabbages. We've got enough onions. They also said carrots, and I don't think we're growing any. Yeah, so we're going to have to buy the carrots as well. So, foobar. Oh, I'm going to have to go all the way back down to Gostovia again just to buy things. Hey-ho. I don't care that it's late. It's after 9 o'clock. I had quite a lot of hassle. I mean, I've had to go all the way down to the village, then all the way to Gostovia, then all the way back. And it's, you know, it's taken me practically all day to do that. I'm not impressed. And then I was coming up here, and I ran into about 2 bandits, and I couldn't avoid them. They saw me and came after me. And I must admit, it's quite funny. Like if you headshot them, it's quite amusing. But yeah, I mean, I hit one of them. It took about 3 hits in the 2 in the chest, 1 in the head to take him down. Next one, I managed to. He was so close, it was easier to get him with a headshot, and it was quite amusing. That I must admit. So I did get some bits and pieces out of them. I mean, I got some money, but I mean, it's things like the wine, for example. I got nothing wonderful. I got some firewood from their camp. I'm going to sell off things basically because I'm running out of flax. I have run out of flax basically. There just wasn't enough to cover the taxes, for example, plus all of these cabbages, carrots, and everything that I like to buy. So it's a case of I can see I'm seriously going to need some bigger fields to be able to get more flax. Anyhow, I don't care if we end up waking up Sambor. I want to get this sorted out now. It's been too much hassle. It's not been an enjoyable day. Come on, get up, lazy bones. Look, just tell us where she is, man. I don't have time for this. I don't care. Oh no. You would have to pick there, wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, of all the places you could have asked me to go, it had to be Horniger. I'm not in the mood to go there. Not today now. It's just so wearing. So I think what I'm going to do then, I mean these fields. Last time I checked, they were. I think the fields are now done. We're only at like day one. Those two have been. They've managed to get through these fields extremely quick. So they've only just got to finish off the onions. The problem is you can't have one person working. Well, you can't have more than one person working on a field. At least not like this size. It just doesn't seem to work. I mean, I was expecting, like maybe they could have shared in the task of like fertilizing the fields and sowing the crops and so on, but they don't seem to do that. So I have to keep going back and getting them to build, another field. I could sort of like get them to. I mean, there are some crops in the barn. I suppose I could get them to turn over, so I could go back to one person in the barn and one person in the field. But more realistically, I need at least a bigger field to generate more flax, so I can use that to then make more money. Because I just barely scraped by, and this particular quest cost me quite a bit as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to go back to the main village where we live at the moment, and I think next days we're going to start building out here. Now, at the moment, it's not too far to travel. So I think that area is flat enough. I'll have to check, but I think if it is, I'm going to build an actual village. We'll build bigger houses for the people to live there. I'll start off with just the fields, but the plan is to have a proper village there. So we're talking about the houses, the storage facilities as well, plus the actual fields. And then eventually we'll move out of here when it comes to the farming. But yeah, it's getting late and I need to get home first. Well, this area over here seems reasonably flat, shall we say. It's not as flat as I thought it was going to be. So the plan is to basically build the fields on this side, build the houses, storage on this side. It's going to involve a lot of chopping a lot of trees down. I mean, the idea is I don't really want them coming all the way over from there to here. I mean, the idea is people would live over here, so it makes sense to put some houses down, some a resource storage and a food storage. But I think I'll just start with well, I was just going to start with the fields for now. The only catch is, even though I put the fields in, there is no seeds to actually plant anyway. All of the flax seeds I've got have either been sold off, or they've been put into that 10 by 10 field over there. So it's like, yeah, I think that was that was the plan. Put the fields here first, and then build the buildings after. But I can see I'm going to have to put the houses and the buildings in, and then when we get into the next season, they'll at least harvest the field over there, and then what I can do is I can use the seeds from that to go into making the field over here for next season. We'll get them to basically, I can leave that field as is for now, but if I can get Edmund to move over here, I mean, even we might move over here for that matter. So first things first, I suppose we need, well, storage. I mean, storage is going to come in useful because, well, I've got a lot of trees over here I need to knock down anyway. So in which case, I think that's what I'll do is I'm going to build a... where is it gone? That's storage. So we're up to storage level 2. 3 needs 10,000 technology. Right, so I need 10 logs to start a storage Mark 2, if you will. I'll get that built over here. And then that'll be a lot easier because I can only carry so many logs anyway. I mean, I can chuck the trees down and, build everything as I'm going along. It'll be... Yeah, we don't need any stones for that. I think, as far as I remember, it's made of wood anyway. And I've just realised we're getting a warning about there's not enough animal feed anyway. But, yeah, we'll focus on getting our storage after I actually get those animals fed. Well, we're actually getting into almost midday now. So I managed to get the actual resource storage finished overnight and then started working on the actual barns, so they're level 2, which means they're actually made mostly out of wood. They've also got the tile roofs, so they last a lot longer. They've got bigger capacities as well, so it kind of made sense. It's something I need over here anyway, because obviously we want to build fields, so I've been chopping lots of trees down. I could technically just have the actual field over here just to begin with, but I mean, we've still got... Oh, crikey, actually it's day 3. I didn't realise that. I thought we were into day 2. Just shows I've completely lost track of time here. So I could actually build a field, and then what I could do is I can let somebody actually look after it, because as soon as we get into the autumn, they'll harvest the actual flax field over there, in which case, at the very least, they can actually treat this field, get it built, get the fertilizer in, and then what I can do is get them to actually use this field for flax next spring. So it gives me a reasonable amount of time to, you know, then get like a house. Because what I'm thinking is I want one house over here for a farmer, basically. And I think I'll actually build another house over here for me and Damrica, because she's going to be working on fields anyway. So, I mean, why not? It saves me upgrading the house over there, because I can then just knock it down, for example. So that's a possibility. Yeah. But, as ever, we're into that wonderful grid system. Let's see, if I start maybe here, for example, the fields, yeah, you can see the fields just not going where you want it to go. It's I don't know why they're doing that. I mean, it seems like an odd system to me, but anyway. Yes, I can't expand out there. I'm gonna have to come up much further. And that's a thought. It's based on a northerly grid, isn't it? Yeah, that's a point. So if I started out at a far edge, and then just work it from there. So yeah, that's a possibility. That's odd. It doesn't like that for some strange reason. I would have thought it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't mind those lot, because they're just stone, surely. Yeah, unless we've kind of like tripped part of the road. Let's try that again. So if I put that, say, here, then. So if I try to go out here. Right, so let's try that again. We'll go from where is it? Field, that one there. So if we go from, say, here then, so it's slightly further in. So I'm just trying to, I mean, I would imagine it would take these rocks with it. So was it the rocks, or was it the road getting in the way? No, that's fine. Question then is, have I taken all of the trees out? Right, so 16 by 16 is the biggest you can do. So you see, if you go to 17, that's it. It's like, nope, too far. So that's a 16 by 16 field that they can then work on. Now at the minute I've got Edmund's actually working in the barn. So there's things for him to do, or at least there was last time I checked. So I've got him doing a very small amount of animal feed, because I need to make sure that there's enough oats and grain to actually plant, you know, in the following the next season he can grow in. So I'm being a bit careful as to how much of this they'll produce. But yeah, they're starting to. There's obviously still some spare of that, plus spare manure. So at least he's busy. Question is then, what about Damrica? Lower efficiency, the barn's far away, but that's because there's nobody actually assigned to the barn. Because this is the trouble, is they need to be working from this barn to do it. In which case, let's go back then to So what's she up to? So she's kind of almost finished it. So tell you what, let's reassign her then to the other barn. And we'll get her to work on this field then. So instead of barn 1, probably easy to do it from that way, to be honest. Ah, now that's a point. I actually haven't built a barn. Ah, duh. I've built a... Yes, I've built a food resource storage, and I've built a resource storage, but what I haven't built is an actual barn. Aha, yes, good point. Right, so if we go back to farming then. So... Ooh. Oh, Struth, we're not too far off barn tier 2. Ah, that's a pity. But anyway, I'm going to have to build a barn now. I suppose I could put it on that side, I guess. One thing actually I've noticed is just over there are actually some bandits. So I'm going to have to... I don't know what's going to happen if any actual NPCs run into bandits. I know what's going to happen to me, but I don't know what happens to your NPCs. Anyway, I've got to get a barn built then. We've finally managed to get our actual barn built. So we've got all the storage that we need, plus somewhere for people to work. So what's missing at the moment is actually places to actually live. So, I mean, they could still come across the river there and do the work. That's not that big of a deal. But it would be better to give them actual houses to live in. So at the moment we've got one field. The plan is next season we'll get all of the actual flax from that crop, and I'll get them to use that to actually, you know, do this field over here. So then in the next year we'll get a lot more flax seeds back. I'll lose quite a bit of flax that I can sell, so I'll have to find something else to sell to pay the actual bills next year, I guess. But that's something to worry about later down the line. I mean, for now, at least we've got our farm built, plus our storage and our barn. So yeah, I think the next thing to focus on is going to be the houses. And the way I'm thinking is I may as well go with the actual bigger houses. Rather than the simple houses, I'll go with the bigger houses. So it still stores the same number of people as the simple house, but you just get more, you know, better morale. Plus the fact I'll get more XP out of it by building them anyway. But of course, that's all for another episode.